Hey there, people. It's me, Michael Kostroff. Um, Thank you all, however many you are who watch these. I'm so grateful that you tune in and let me contribute to your actor journey. It's really a privilege. Um, I've talked before about a saying of mine: "Do the character's job, not the actor's job." I want to refresh that idea this week because what happens is when you get an audition, if you're not careful, you start trying to calculate how to book the job. And again, I know this is a familiar theme for me, and I'm going to repeat it because it's very important to try to groove this in. Trying to get a job is acting poison. It'll sink you. It'll tank your work because it is not fun watching an actor try to get a job, watching a performance that's calculated to get a job or lead to the next job or whatever. You wouldn't want to see that. And in a way, it's dishonest acting. It's like, okay, I'm playing this furniture designer, but also trying to get you to hire me as an actor to play the furniture designer brings a certain level of dishonesty to the furniture designer. The furniture designer doesn't give a shit about the acting part. That's not what he's about. He's got something else going on. I don't know what furniture designers think about. I don't know. Wood finishes. I don't know. But but whatever that is, that's what he's thinking about. And all of this really makes a very good case for once you have scrubbed that material for clues and logic and made it make sense in all directions and made sure that you haven't missed the stage directions or what the other characters have said, and you've really made good, responsible, logical actor choices that feel right and honest. You have to step away from the acting part. You have to commit to your choices. And when I say commit to your choices, I mean like throw the frisbee, you're done. You just throw it. That's it. The thing's done. It's cooked, and you got to serve it. I'm mixing metaphors left and right this week, um, and not be monitoring it to think about, oh, was this good? Was this good? As you're doing it, because there's no honesty in that. Um, it makes a case when you commit to those choices and say, this is my furniture designer. This is what he's like. Um, you uh, are more able to release that little voice in your head that's the actor voice going, oh, I didn't like that line reading. Oh, that didn't seem, oh, I think they'll like it if I laugh louder, which really just brings just complete dishonesty to your work. I will say again, as I've said many times, do the character's job, not the actor's job. The actor wants to get hired. The character wants something else, unless the character is an actor trying to get hired or a job applicant trying to get hired. That's fine. Then you play that. But if you're trying to convince your kid to, you know, stay away from a bad influence, that's more important than the scene or the job or if a casting director likes you. You got to get through to that kid. If the scene is, let's say it's a comedy, and you know, you're you're a teacher who's drunk, and you've got to hold it together and make sure your students don't know you're drunk during class, and that's much more important. That teacher is not thinking about your audition or getting the job. Much more important, much higher stakes is don't let them know you're drunk. Uh, you know, and so really diving into and focusing on the character, state of mind, the meat and potatoes, the objectives, the obstacles, the relationships, the state of mind, all of the basics, and really like taking a bath in those things. Sort of creates a buffer between you and your actor voice. That actor voice should be off while you're acting. I'm going to misquote this, but I saw an interview with Meryl Streep where she was saying all that stuff is before. It's before. You do all this stuff before. And then then you got to just go. I call it you step on the raft and you leave the shore. Then you got to let the current take you. To a certain extent, you can't steer while you're riding. Again, I'm mixing my metaphors all over the place this week. It takes a certain kind of stepping out on faith and a certain type of trust in your instrument to go, let go, and take the journey of the scene without trying to constantly calculate how it's going to land with a casting director who you don't know what they're looking for. Producer, director, you don't know what they're looking for. You cannot make them hire you. I say it to you often because it's a hard thing for us to convince ourselves of and realize you cannot make them hire you. There's no magic reading. There's no magic trick. There's no magic thing you can do. But a thing you should avoid doing is letting us see you try to get a job. Letting them see you try to get a job. Because that is a turnoff. I don't want to see that performance. Where you're showing off your choices, showing off you're showing off how well you act. It's almost like trying to act well is the enemy of acting well. That's been my finding anyway. I don't seem to act well when I try to craft a good acting. I act well when I get really invested in the character's goals, the character's objectives, and what's important and why, and what's standing in my way. The other day I had an audition for a police lieutenant showing up on at a crime scene, trying to figure out what the hell's going on. That's the objective. What's going on? I got to know. That guy's not trying to get an acting job. Much more important, what is going on? That's the objective. The obstacle, I'm not getting the information I need. Whole different world. And if you'll step into that and sort of let go of the other stuff, your work will be so much freer and better, more believable, and still nobody will hire us. It's still the math still sucks. The job's going to go to somebody else every time. Don't worry about it. That's my old mantra. You're not getting the fucking job. Don't worry about it. Do good acting work. Do good acting work by not thinking about your acting when you're acting. Yeah. Thoughts? I feel like every week I say, does this make sense? Because I don't, things are coming out of my mouth that I'm like, yeah, I'm wondering. I'm going to try to stop asking that. I'm going to assume these things make sense because you're all smart people, and I know that you've all caught yourselves doing this, being in the middle of a scene and trying to calculate how it's going. That's my thought for the week, and I'll have more next week because, I always do. I'll see you then. Looking forward to your responses. Bye.